first 3 years of your baby's life are very important for all sorts of reasons, as well as brain development. As great parents, you can make a real difference by using this window of opportunity to support your baby's learning at home. Before your child even begins to read and write, they need to develop the foundations for literacy. That is, the ability to speak, listen, and understand. You play a very important role in helping them do this. Hello and welcome to the Learning Starts Early, Talk, Rhyme, Read and Play with Your Baby Every Day DVD.
I'm Sharon Sewell, one of the maternal child health nurses here at Central Goldfields Shire, and together with the Go Goldfields Children's Literacy Facilitators, we have developed this DVD to show you why it's a really great idea to talk to your baby even before birth, which will give them a great start in life. This DVD will show you why it is never too early to talk to your baby and how bonding begins prior to birth. Hopefully, it will give you some useful ideas on how to enjoy this special time with your baby and make a real difference to their lives.
Sharing stories, songs and talking early on during pregnancy gives your baby the best start in life.
Yes, it has been moving.
Whereabouts?
It's been moving a lot. I had a few different people tell me that the baby would start to hear me after the first trimester. So we spent a lot of time talking to the baby, probably actually before that, but also after that. Choices. Yeah. But also we love books and particularly children's books, so that was a great way for us to be able to talk to the baby without and sort of leave our ego out the door a little bit and sort of get rid of inhibitions and just try and connect with the baby. But also because it's inside my belly, it's hard for Brad to feel connected to the baby as much as I feel connected to it. So by reading together, it was Brad's way of being able to connect with the baby.
I Want My Hat Back by John Glasson.
It's moving around in there already.
Have you seen my hat? No, why are you asking?
Usually we read a book after dinner. And as soon as we sit down and he starts reading the book, the baby automatically moves towards his voice. So it's definitely responding to him.
And it's something that I never did when I was younger. I never got read to, or I never read myself much. So this is sort of a new experience for me too, and it's a nice way to bond as well. And you do know, even though the baby's inside, you know that it is listening to you and it's interacting with you and it's having fun, and yeah, hopefully it gets off to a good start. I have seen my hat!
Well, at first we felt a little bit silly speaking to the baby because it's not something that you normally do, and they say the first sign of manners is speaking to yourself. So it felt a bit odd, but we needed a little bit of practice to get used to it.
When I first started doing it did feel a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit weird, but you do need to practice, and it takes time, and it's very comfortable now. It's a comfortable activity to do together. The
more you do it, the easier it becomes. And you end up speaking out loud to it with all sorts of different things, like when you're walking around the house and doing your day-to-day tasks, you use that as an opportunity to talk to the baby, discussing what you're doing while you're walking around. So it gets less silly as you go on. What you are. Well, I think every pregnant lady goes through a lot of emotional states when they're pregnant, and so you do feel quite stressed, and you can tell that the baby also feels stressed when you're stressed. So taking the time to be able to sit down and rub your belly and talk to it calmly really makes a massive difference. And sometimes I've found that on days where I've been particularly stressed, I've had to force myself to just shut myself away for a few moments just to connect with the baby and really feel like I'm pulling it back to calmness again.
When I'm reading and the baby responds, I really feel special. I know that it's very hard to describe, but you know that there's a connection there, I suppose, and I feel a bit warm and fuzzy when the baby's kicking around after my voice is sort of kick-started.
Talking, sharing stories and songs helps you connect with your baby. Your baby loves sharing songs, stories and rhymes with others.
I like my daddy because he's strong.
Do you think your daddy's strong?
Yeah.
I think he is too. I think it's very important for children to read, and I enjoy reading to my grandchildren. I enjoy my grandchildren. I see a lot of my grandchildren, and we always reading books or doing drawings. And even when my children were young, I would read to them, and I think it helps them with words. It helps them with making up their own stories.
To the far end of town, they sniffed at the smells and they snooped at each door.
It is that time.
Stories can be come from everywhere. They can just come from imagination. They can come from everyday life. And I sit and sometimes, especially at bedtime, I'll make up stories for my grandchildren. And it could be about anything. It can be about something we've done in the morning. It can be, I was just sitting 2 minutes ago and we were drawing and making up a story from drawing our own pictures. And it can be really enjoyable. They like listening to other things, and sometimes it can be out of your own everyday life. It doesn't have to be totally imaginary. It can be made up from something you've done in the morning, and it interacts with one another. It gets to talking between you and your grandchildren, and it can have different conversations, and it doesn't matter at what age. It can be from as babies, it can be right through to, and it just encourage people to talk to one another right through to adulthood. And I don't sing very often to my grandchildren, but sometimes we do make up little rhymes or something, and might be get into a singing mode, but it doesn't happen very often. I'm not a very good singer, so it doesn't happen very often. And yeah, it's just enjoyable. And they get to know you, and you get to know them a lot better from it as well.
Involving families and others is important for early learning and literacy.
So right from the very start, your babies really like to hear the sound of your voice, and even from the minute of birth, they actually look for your face when they hear you speak.
I definitely, she recognises both our voices, and get her to smile and everything. She always smiles for us more than anyone else.
Yeah, I've noticed as she gets older, she would recognise your voice from a distance.
You guys notice that as they get a bit older, that they actually hold your gaze and talk back to you a little bit, and they smile a lot more and really look for that engagement.
Yeah. Often when I'm changing Jack on the change table, I'll talk to him, and he'll have a conversation back, and we quite often have quite a long chat.
I noticed that Kev talks to her all the time when he's changing her. He's chatting away in the other room.
She giggles, talks back.
The more that you say the same words all the time, repetition is really important, because before you know it, they'll be trying to say the words back, and pausing and giving them the chance to have their turn is really important as well, as it teaches them to have a conversation and learns the rules of conversation.
There was always this expectation that I found you had to have all these toys for your baby, and especially with ads on TV and stuff, they make you feel like you're a bad parent if they don't have this or that. But at the end of the day, she doesn't want to play with all that sort of stuff. She wants to play with, I don't know, this disgusting dirty teddy or my hand. Like, it's not all about the bells and whistles.
So they don't need great big expensive toys, they just really want you, because you guys are the centre of the universe, and they would rather play with you, and lots of visual contact and lots of peekaboo, lots of finger games, tickle games, and they really love it when you sing to them as well. That's what they want. They don't care about the great big new toys.
So TV and electronic stuff are here to stay anyway. That's a part of modern life, but it's probably really important to limit it if you can. And the research is actually saying that children under 3 don't have any educational benefit from games or electronic toys anyway, and it can impede with their speech. They would just rather talk to you guys. That's the more important thing.
She'll listen to music and calm music, but TV's, yeah, she's not interested.
And I'm trying to give her a bottle, she'll fling and watch the TV and might just look straight and have the bottle, so I'll turn the TV off, and so she's got to just, concentrate on having the bottle.
Can a dummy affect speech development?
It can, actually. Dummies have got their time and their place, and they're not all bad, but it's really important that by the age of 1 you try to get rid of the dummy, and nighttime use is probably the best time to use the dummy. When they have their dummy for excessive long periods of time, it actually impedes their speech because they find it difficult to talk around a dummy. So it's never too early to start with books. Kids love books, and it's about sharing books and talking about books, and as you can see, the kids have just loved it. It's never too early to sing to your children. They love it. They'll visually engage with you. They'll listen to you. It's just one of the best things that you could do.
It's never too early to share stories, books and songs with your baby. Looking after a newborn is a very special and busy time, and sharing books and stories with your baby can be a big part of this. You can read anywhere and at any time. Sharing books is a wonderful way to help your child learn to talk, and it's the ideal opportunity to have a cuddle as well. It doesn't matter if you can't read very well. Talk about the pictures or make up a story. Your baby just loves listening to your voice and is learning as well. Remember, at this stage, it is not about formally teaching your child to read. It's about sharing a special time with your baby and helping your child's language and literacy development. Your library welcomes babies.
So what sort of books do you recommend for my little baby?
Babies love looking at books with bold shapes and faces, particularly in black and white colours, like these black and white books. Babies also learn through their 5 senses, so look for books like with texture, like this one, and board books, and also books with babies' faces, as I love this. Babies want to experience the world, so when you're sharing a story, try to be as engaging as you can. You can borrow lots of different types of books at your library. And we even also have a special library card just for babies. We also understand that babies like to chew and dribble on books, so if you do damage a book in that way, don't let it stop you from using the library. We love having children here at the library of all ages. We welcome babies of all age ranges.
Enjoy a visit to your library. Sharing books and stories early gives your baby the best start in life.
We joined Abby up at the library when she was 3 weeks old and took her first book out when she was 4 weeks old. We think it's very important for kids to learn how to read. It's educational. It's good for their imagination.
And I also learned at uni doing early childhood education that it's never too early to start reading to your baby, and that black and white books are good for the contrast, and also I like the board books because you can't damage them very easily, so you don't have to worry about them ripping the pages or...
Her first couple of books are the black and white ones, and she thoroughly enjoyed them even though she was only young. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And they're getting better all the time. And she's much more alert now, so she sees a lot more than what she did before. Oh, it's good to start young.
Yeah, it's important for not just for school but for lifelong learning.
You learn so much through reading.
experiences. Yeah,
It's fantastic.
and you learn a lot about imagination and creative stories through books. Yeah, there's a great selection of kids' books here.
You don't need to be a good reader yourself to share books and stories with your baby. The more words your baby hears, the better.
As a speech pathologist and a mum, I know how important it is to talk to babies from the moment they're born and to read with them. I know that by reading to them, by the time they're ready to learn to read and write, they're so much more interested in books, and they know how a book works, and they just love. I've got 2 older children and they just love to read together, and it's just so beautiful to see how much they can learn from their interest in books, and how we can bond together too when we're reading together. Basically, babies need to hear words thousands and thousands of times before they will first start to understand what a word means and then eventually start to use a word. So I know that by talking and reading with our babies, it means that they're hearing lots and lots of words for optimal language development, basically.
Perplexing, universal. Yes, sir, free, full.
So that's why it's important to sing and talk with your baby and make up stories and nursery rhymes. Anything where your baby gets to hear your voice, and nothing beats your own voice, your family's voices. TV just doesn't compare to these babies and our children hearing our voices and our family's voices, Nan and Pa, his brothers and sisters. They're all so important for these little babies to hear.
And Harry McClary from Donaldson's Dairy.
Talk to your baby whenever you can. Your baby loves sharing songs, movement and music with you.
Singing provides a natural, wonderful way of interacting with your child. Musical exchanges also create increased what we call neuronal connectivity or neuronal connections. Our brains are made up of neurons. There's little things that actually fire off and talk to each other. When we're interacting with our child, with our baby, we're just assisting the development of these connections. And the more neuronal connectivity there is, the easier a child will learn, will pick up on what's going on in the world. So another reason why we should sing. And again, also another really important reason for doing this fun activity with your child is the ability it has to promote literacy skills. A baby can learn to listen to sounds and silence, to listen to the melodic flow of a melody, and to hear cadence at the end of songs. And all this stuff in song is what we hear in speech. So by singing to your child from birth, you're actually preparing them for this journey into language and communication and literacy. Knowing 8 songs is a key predictor of increased language development and ease of reading in children at school entry.
In or out, we have a swirl. They swirl and swirl around and round, and they went back the other way. They swirl and twirl.
It doesn't matter how you think your voice sounds. Yours is the voice that baby has heard for 9 months in utero. It's the one that they're used to hearing, that they're familiar with, and that they will respond to the most.
Say you, peekatee, 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 boo, peekatee.
Singing and moving provide a natural and wonderful opportunity to develop strong emotional connections and attachment between parent and baby. Both mum and dad can sing with their child, and what happens, you'll start to sing a little bit, the baby will respond to you, or baby will offer you a ho ho ho, and you'll go back to baby ho ho ho, and then baby will extend that and you'll extend the response, and so we get this snowballing of communication, which is absolutely beautiful to be a part of, and makes us really firmly emotionally connected to our child.
Sharing songs, music and movement helps you bond with your baby and helps your baby learn.
Like this. We can sway from side to side. A smooth road, 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 a rougher 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 road, and then a bumpy road, 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 and then we go up on the floor. That's it. So we're just swaying to start. And we could do actually like sit, let's just try turning Bubby around so they can see everybody else. Keep them nice and secure and cuddle. Oh yes. Oh yes, there's lots of things to see this way. We're going to start with this side to side, just taking it easy. Yeah, that's right, Kelsey. A smooth road, 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 a rougher 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 road, a bumpy road, a bumpy road, a bumpy road, a bumpy road, bumpy road, a bumpy road, a bumpy road, a bumpy road. Get ready, and then we go. Are you ready? On the floor. Let's do that again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. On the floor. Beautiful. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Beautiful. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Now, most of the songs and stuff that we sing over time are just a starting point for what you can do with your baby. So songs are meant to be taken on board, made your own. And a very funny little ditty to this tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, which I think these guys might really like even today, but even more when they get a bit older. It's about Mummy drives a motor car. And it goes like this. It's a bit cheeky. You get the nice little tapping one if you want to do a tap tap on the tummy. Yeah, if you like. And it goes, twinkle, twinkle, little star, Mummy drives a motor car. Push a throttle, pull and choke. Woo! Off we go in a cloud of smoke. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, Mummy drives a motor car. It's a funny song. The Grand Old Duke of York He had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, oh. And when they were only halfway up, get ready, they were neither up nor down. Let's do it again. Super duper, Abigail. Here we go. The grand old Duke of York. He had 10,000 men. You ready? He marched them up to the top of the hill. Yes. And marched them down again. Ooh. When they were up, they were up. And when they were down. Oh. And when they were only halfway up, you right, Sienna, they were neither up nor down. We're going to do the grand old Duke of York again, because we can do it standing up and moving around. And standing up and moving with your baby is really, really important. We're going to sing this song, and it goes like this. The grand old Duke of York. He had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill. Woo! And marched them down again. And we go like this. I love my baby loves me. 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 I love my baby, oh, I love my baby, oh, I love my baby loves me. Let's have a little dance around in the circle. I'm dancing with my baby 'cause my baby loves me. I'm dancing with my baby 'cause my baby loves me. I'm dancing with my baby 'cause my baby loves me. I'm dancing with my baby 'cause my baby loves me. I'm dancing with my baby, oh, dancing with my baby 'cause I love my baby and my baby loves me. I love my baby and my baby loves me. Peekity, 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 boo! You can't see me, I can't see you. Open the door and let me through. Peekity, 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 boo! Just repetition is absolutely beautiful with babies and grown-ups. It helps us learn the words, be comfortable with the melody, and it's just, you just never get sick of them. 5 little kittens, all black and white, Jack, sleeping soundly through the night. Meow, 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 the head. Meow, 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 meow. Time to wake up now. Beautiful. Okay, this is another little tickling one. It's really fun to do while they're lying as they are on the floor. And it goes like this, Jack. It goes, I'll sing it for you. Pizza, pizza, pumpernickel. These little peeps deserve a tickle. 1 for the toes, and 1 for the nose, and heaps for the tummy where the pizza goes. Woo! That's it, let's do it again, you ready? Pizza, pizza, pumpernickel. These little peeps deserve a tickle. 1 for the toes, and 1 for the nose, yes, and heaps for the tummy where the pizza goes. Well done. Beautiful work. It's time for us to say goodbye. Say goodbye to say goodbye. It's time for us to say goodbye.
books together is a really important part of your baby's development.
What has George seen now? Some lovely soil. I said I'd be...
When she was a little baby, newborn, I used to show her the black and white books because she could actually see the pictures in that, but there's not very many words in those, so reading them wasn't exactly what we were doing. We were just more looking at books. But as she got a little bit older, I started reading her some of books with a storyline in them, and she doesn't have a huge concentration level at the moment, so what I do mostly is read to her while I'm breastfeeding, and she starts to recognise the story and the different voices and the different parts of the story, and because I've read them so often, I've memorised them, and now when I'm walking down the street and she's a bit grizzly, I can talk to her and tell her the story, and she'll recognise those parts of the book and start giggling or smiling at me, so I can tell that she knows the stories.
I Want My Hat Back by John Clafson.
There is a possibility that she does recognise some of the books that we read to her when she was in my tummy, because I can notice that she quietens down when we're reading those books, so she's obviously listening and recognising some of those stories.
I have seen my hat!
So she recognises Brad's voice a lot, especially with the stories that he read to her when she was in my tummy. When I read the same books, she doesn't recognise them as often as she does when he's reading them, because his voice was the one that was reading to her mostly when she was in my tummy. So she really does respond well to him when he's reading.
And the end. Yay!
Talking, sharing stories and songs helps you connect with your baby. Your baby loves sharing songs, stories and rhymes with others. You don't need to be a good reader yourself to share books and stories with your baby. Your library welcomes babies. Talk to your baby whenever you can. Sharing songs, music, rhymes and movement helps you bond with your baby and helps your baby learn.
She's much more alert now, so she sees a lot more than what she did before. Oh, it's good to start young.
She doesn't look very alert now.
Communicating everything to you, that kind of stuff. Quite really good. That's one.